Why do we always underestimate the quiet ones? The woman standing behind that counter at the Blue Moon Diner looked like she'd break if you raised your voice too loud. 5'6", maybe 55 kilograms soaking wet, worn waitress uniform hanging loose on her frame. Hands that trembled when the big man slammed his fist down hard enough to make the coffee cups dance across the counter. Her name was Amber Hayes, single mother, minimum wage, the kind of woman people look through, not at. And on this Friday night in rural Texas, she was about to become the most dangerous person in that room. But nobody knew that yet. It's 9 p.m. along Highway 287. The Blue Moon Diner sits like a forgotten memory between nowhere and somewhere else. Truckers, locals, travelers nursing bad coffee and good pie. 12 customers scattered across vinyl booths that have seen better decades. The sound of breaking glass cuts through the low murmur of conversation. Blake Carter stands 6'3", 90 kilograms of muscle and rage, military tattoos crawling up both arms like battle scars turned decoration. His breath reeks of whiskey. His voice booms across the diner when he speaks. "I said I want to talk to your boss, you stupid woman." Amber doesn't look up, can't look up. Her eyes stay fixed on the floor, the picture of submission. Her 8-year-old son, Liam, presses himself deeper into her side, small hands gripping her apron. She can feel his heartbeat against her ribs, fast, scared. "I'm sorry, sir." Her voice comes out barely above a whisper, cracking slightly. "Mr. Jasper isn't here tonight. He won't be back until Monday morning." Blake leans forward. His shadow falls over mother and child like a threat made physical. Behind him, 4 more men spread out across the diner's entrance. Coordinated, practiced. This isn't their first time. Connor locks the front door. The click echoes in the sudden silence. He's built like a linebacker, shaved head gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Ryan pulls down the blinds one by one, lean and mean with a smile that makes your skin crawl. Ethan scans the room with calculating eyes, expensive watch, dirty clothes, the kind of contradiction that screams danger. Paul sets up a laptop on one of the tables, the smallest of the group, maybe the most dangerous because of it. The 12 customers seem to shrink into their seats. An elderly couple near the window clutches hands, white knuckles, silent prayers. A trucker in the corner booth reaches slowly for his phone, freezes when Connor's eyes lock onto him. The message is clear: don't. "Mom," Liam's whisper cuts through the tension. His voice trembles as he buries his face in Amber's side. Blake's lips curl into something that might be called a smile if you'd never seen kindness before. He looks down at the boy, really looks at him, like he's calculating value, weakness, leverage. "This your kid?" The question sounds casual, conversational, it's anything but. Maybe he needs to learn what happens when people don't pay what they owe. Amber closes her eyes, takes a deep breath. In that moment of stillness, nobody notices the subtle way her fingers tap 3 times against her thigh. A rhythmic pattern, precise. The kind of thing that would mean something very specific to anyone who'd served in certain units. Nobody sees the micro-adjustment in her stance, weight shifting almost imperceptibly to the balls of her feet. They have no idea. "Your boss, Jasper, owes us $50,000 for protection," Blake continues. His hand reaches toward Liam, the size of a dinner plate. "Been 3 months now." Amber's voice comes out soft, but there's something underneath it now, something that makes Blake pause for just a fraction of a second. "Please, not in front of my son." The plea sounds pathetic, desperate, exactly what Blake wants to hear. He laughs, a harsh bark that makes several customers flinch. "Not in front of your son." He shoves Amber hard against the wall. Her back hits with a thud that knocks a picture frame to the floor, glass shattering, another broken thing in a room full of them. "Lady, your son's about to get a real education about how the world works." Liam cries out, tears streaming down his face as he tries to pull Blake's arm away from his mother. small fists beating against the man's thigh. Powerless. Insignificant. "Stop it," the child's voice cracks. "Leave her alone." Blake barely notices. Holly rushes forward from behind the counter. Amber's coworker, 22 years old, still believes the world is fair. Her serving tray clatters to the floor as Ethan intercepts her with casual violence, shoves her hard into a table, salt shakers and napkin dispensers flying. "Anyone else want to play hero?" Ryan calls out. He pulls a knife from his boot, flips it open with practiced ease. The blade catches the light. "Because I'm really hopping someone does." In the corner booth, an older man wearing a faded Marine's cap starts to rise. His name is Henry, Vietnam veteran. He's seen things, done things, survived things. "Sit down, old man," Paul says without looking up from his laptop. "Unless you want to die for minimum wage workers." But Henry's eyes aren't on Paul. They're fixed on Amber. Watching the way she breathes, controlled, measured, 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out. He's seen that breathing pattern before, in places where staying calm meant staying alive, in men who'd learned to control their fear so completely it became a weapon. His weathered hands grip the edge of the table as he slowly sits back down. But his eyes never leave the small woman pressed against the wall. Because Henry recognizes something nobody else in this diner has noticed yet. Blake grabs a fistful of Amber's hair, yanks her head back. "Where's the safe? I know Jasper keeps cash here. Friday night, place like this, has to be at least 10 grand in the till and safe combined." "I don't know the combination." Amber's voice shakes. "Perfect performance. Only Mr. Jasper knows it." "Are you feeling it yet? That protective instinct kicking in, that anger rising in your chest?" "Good. Because what's coming next will flip everything you thought you knew about the quiet woman serving coffee." Connor rifles through Amber's purse beneath the counter. Wallet, tissues, pack of gum. Then his fingers find something else. A chain, 2 pieces of metal, dog tags, old and worn. But the name and numbers have been carefully scratched off until they're unreadable. He holds them up, lets them dangle from his thick fingers. "What's this? Your daddy's, or maybe some boyfriend who left you with the kid?" Amber doesn't answer. Her silence frustrates Blake more than any response could have. He pulls harder on her hair, forces her to her knees in front of the entire diner. Humiliation made public, made spectacle. Several customers look away, unable to watch. But Henry keeps watching. And now he notices something else, something that makes his blood run cold with recognition. The way Amber's eyes have gone flat, emotionless, like someone flipped a switch and turned off the humanity behind them. He's seen that look before, in the eyes of men who'd been in combat so long they could disconnect from the moment, from the pain, from everything except the mission. Ryan struts over, expensive sneakers squeaking on the linoleum floor. "Look at her, pathetic little mouse, probably makes what, $7 an hour plus tips." He looks at Liam, at the tears streaming down the boy's face. "Kid, your mom's a loser. Get used to disappointment." The words hit their mark. Liam's face crumples, and then he launches himself at Ryan, small fists swinging wildly. No technique, just rage and love and desperation. "Don't talk about my mom like that." Ryan catches the boy's wrist easily, laughing. "Got some fight in you, huh? Just like mommy pretending to be brave." He pushes Liam away, sends the boy stumbling back against the counter. That push, that casual cruelty toward her child. That changes something. It's subtle, so subtle that only Henry catches it. Amber's shoulders rotate back slightly. Her chin lifts a fraction of an inch. Her breathing pattern shifts from the controlled 444 to something else, something that synchronizes with her heartbeat, dropping it to a combat-ready 40 beats per minute. "I'm into the security system," Paul announces, fingers flying across his keyboard. Cameras are now on a loop. Whatever happens here stays here. Good, Blake says. He releases Amber's hair, lets her slump against the wall, because this is about to get educational. The question isn't whether she'll break. The question is what breaks first when she doesn't. Ethan emerges from the kitchen empty-handed. No safe back there. Has to be in the office, Blake orders. Check it. He turns his attention back to Amber, really studies her now, like he's trying to figure out why she isn't crying harder, begging more. You know what? I don't think you understand the situation here. But maybe he's the one who doesn't understand. Blake's phone buzzes, he checks it, frowns. Morrison says we make an example, wants proof we're serious about collecting. He looks at Liam, then back at Amber. I'm thinking maybe we start with the kid, nothing permanent, just enough to show we mean business. Amber's head is still bowed, hair falling across her face, voice still that same broken whisper. Please, I'll get you the money, just, please don't hurt him. How you going to get me $50,000? Blake laughs. You probably don't even have $50 in your bank account. I'll figure it out, I'll work extra shifts, You'll shut up is what you'll do. He reaches for Liam again. And that's when Amber speaks in a different voice entirely. Not loud, not aggressive, just different, the way the temperature drops before a storm. Touch my son again, she says quietly, and you'll regret it. Blake blinks, confused by the shift. Did you just threaten me? Amber lifts her head, meets his eyes for the first time, and Blake sees something there that makes his hand freeze halfway to the child. Something cold, something old, something that's seen things he can't imagine. Last warning, she says. Ryan laughs from across the room. Oh, this is rich. The little mouse thinks she's scary. He starts toward her, knife still in hand. Let me show you what's scary actually. Amber moves. It happens so fast that most people miss it. 1 second she's on her knees, submissive, defeated. The next she's inside Ryan's guard. Her hand wraps around his wrist. Twist, pressure, direction. Ryan's knife clatters to the floor as his arm hyperextends at an angle arms aren't meant to go. The crack echoes through the diner. Ryan screams. Amber pivots, uses his momentum against him, drives him face first into the counter with enough force to spiderweb the formica. He collapses, unconscious before he hits the floor. 3 seconds start to finish. The diner goes silent. Blake stares, Connor stares, Ethan and Paul freeze mid-motion. What the? Blake starts. Amber's already moving again. She closes the distance to Connor. The big man swings, massive fist cutting through air where Amber's head was a heartbeat ago. She's smaller, faster. She ducks under his arm, drives her elbow into his kidney with surgical precision. He gasps. Amber hooks his ankle, pulls, uses his own weight against him. 300 pounds of muscle crashes to the floor hard enough to shake the building. Connor tries to push himself up. Amber's boot finds the pressure point behind his knee. He collapses again, groaning. 10 seconds since this started. Ethan's already running, sprinting for the back exit. He doesn't make it. The kitchen door swings open and a massive figure fills the frame. 6'4", heavily muscled, burn scars visible on his dark skin. Where you going? The man asks calmly. Ethan tries to pivot, too late. The big man moves with impossible speed for someone his size. One punch, precise, clinical. Ethan drops like someone cut his strings. Paul's fingers fly over his keyboard, frantic. I'm calling the cops, I'm calling. No, you're not. A lean Asian man appears beside him, moves like water. The laptop snaps shut. Paul's hand is suddenly twisted behind his back, face pressed against the table. You're going to sit very still and think about your life choices. Blake backs toward the door, fumbling for his gun, but a red-headed woman blocks his path. Army Ranger tattoo visible on her forearm. She smiles. It's not friendly. Go ahead, she says softly. Pull it, see what happens. Blake's hand trembles. He looks around the diner, at his crew, all down, all done, at the customers who are staring open-mouthed, at the old man in the corner who's smiling like he just won a bet with himself. Then he looks at Amber. She's standing in the center of the diner, not even breathing hard, Liam behind her, safe, protected. "Who are you?" Blake whispers. Amber reaches up, slowly unbuttons the top of her uniform, pulls out the chain Connor had mocked earlier. Those scratched-off dog tags, but there's something else on the chain now, something she'd kept hidden under her shirt. A trident, gold, gleaming. "My name is Amber Hayes," she says quietly. "I'm a waitress, a mother, and I served 6 years with SEAL Team 7 before joining a unit you've never heard of." She pauses, lets that sink in. "You came into my diner, threatened my customers, terrorized my son." She takes a step forward. Blake takes a step back. "Bad decision," she finishes. The big man from the kitchen steps forward. "Marcus Chen, former SEAL. Turned your security cameras off about 5 minutes before your guy did. Just so you know, we have the real footage. All of it." The redhead speaks next. "Holly, yeah, the clumsy waitress, also former Army Ranger. Psychological operations. I've been playing scared since you walked in. You bought every second of it." The Asian man at the laptop. "Kai Nakamura, Navy SEAL, also pretty good with computers, better than your guy." He looks at Paul, no offense. A fifth person emerges from the office. Older, graying beard. Moves with the confidence of someone who's survived too much to fear anything. Jackson Jax Rodriguez, Marine Force Recon. Retired, mostly. Blake's gun is in his hand now, shaking, pointed at Amber. "Stay back, I'll shoot, I swear I'll." "No, you won't." Henry's voice cuts through the panic. The old Vietnam vet stands slowly, walks over to Blake, gentle, like approaching a frightened animal. "Son, I've been watching this whole time. You've got your finger on the trigger, safety's still on, you're scared, and these people, they don't want to hurt you, not really, but they will if you make them." He reaches out slowly, takes the gun from Blake's trembling hand. "There we go, smart choice." Sheriff Mason chooses that exact moment to walk through the door, coffee in hand. He takes in the scene. 5 unconscious men. 5 very alert individuals who move like predators. Amber standing in the center of it all with her son. "Friday night, Amber," he sighs. "Really?" "They started it," Liam pipes up helpfully. Marcus pulls out his phone, makes a call. "This is Marcus Chen, service number." "Yes, sir. We have a situation at the Blue Moon Diner. 5 individuals associated with the Morrison network. Threatened civilians, attempted extortion and assault." He listens. "Yes, sir. We'll hold them until your people arrive." Blake's face goes white at the mention of Morrison's name. "How do you can't know about?" He stops. Looks at Amber, at her team. Understanding dawns. Horror follows. "You've been watching us this whole time. This was a setup?" Amber shakes her head. "No, you just happened to pick the wrong diner, wrong waitress, wrong night." She kneels down, eye level with Blake now. He's sitting on the floor, defeated. Morrison thinks he's untouchable. He's been running protection rackets across 6 states. Money laundering, weapons trafficking. Thought he could hide behind legitimate businesses and political connections. "We've been tracking him for 8 months, Marcus adds. "You and your crew just gave us everything we need to move up the chain." The elderly couple near the window speaks up. The woman's voice is shaky but clear. "We saw everything. They threatened that little boy, that poor woman, those monsters." Other customers nod, agreeing, eager to provide statements now that the danger has passed. Henry sits back down at his booth, takes a sip of coffee that's probably cold by now. "Thought I recognized that breathing pattern. You teach that to civilians?" "No, sir," Amber says respectfully. "Didn't think so." He smiles, raises his cup in salute. "Hooya, young lady." "Semper Fi, sir." Liam tugs his mother's apron. "Mom, are we in trouble?" Amber pulls him close, kisses the top of his head. No, baby, we're not in trouble. Are you really he whispers the next part, a Navy SEAL? Was past tense, now I'm just your mom. Just my mom. Liam's eyes are wide-awed. Mom, you're so cool. Despite everything, the violence, the fear, the revelation, Amber laughs. It's a real laugh, warm and genuine. Yeah, well, don't tell your friends at school. They wouldn't believe you anyway. Federal agents arrive 20 minutes later. Black SUVs, serious faces. They secure Blake and his crew, take statements. The lead agent, Thompson, approaches Amber. Ms. Hayes, or should I say Commander Hayes? Just Amber is fine, I'm retired. You sure about that? Thompson asks. Because what you did here tonight, this could break Morrison's entire operation wide open. Not my fight anymore, Amber says firmly. But she's lying, they both know it. Thompson hands her a card. When you change your mind, call me. Your country still needs people like you. After he leaves, after the customers have been interviewed and released, after the diner is finally quiet again, Amber's team gathers around a booth. That was close, Holly says. Liam could have. But he didn't, Amber interrupts. And neither did any of the customers. Everyone's safe. That's what matters. Morrison's going to know it was us, Kai points out. Good, Marcus says. Let him know. Maybe he'll think twice before coming into our town again. Jax shakes his head. You know it doesn't work like that. We poke the bear. He's going to poke back. Amber knows he's right. They all do. The price of protecting home is never just paid once. The call comes 3 days later, Sunday morning. Amber's making pancakes while Liam watches cartoons. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer, but something makes her pick up. Amber Hayes, a woman's voice, professional, cold. Who's asking? My name is Sarah Morrison, Richard Morrison's wife. Pause. Also his lawyer. You've caused my husband significant legal and financial damage. Your husband sent thugs to threaten my son. Allegedly, and those charges won't stick. You know they won't. Blake and his crew are claiming entrapment, self-defense gone wrong. They're saying you attacked them first. Amber's grip tightens on the phone. There were witnesses. A dozen people saw a group of men asking questions that escalated when you became violent. That's how my team will spin it. Your military background makes you seem aggressive, dangerous. Poor Blake and his friends were just trying to talk to the owner about a business arrangement. You're bluffing. Am I? Check your doorstep, Amber. I had something delivered this morning. Amber walks to the front door, opens it. A package sits on the mat. Inside is a folder, photographs, her and Liam at the park, at the grocery store, walking to school, timestamps from the last 3 months. Her blood runs cold. You've been watching my son. Insurance, Sarah says smoothly. You stay quiet about my husband's business dealings and these photos remain just photos. You cooperate with the investigation, testify, make trouble. Well, accidents happen. 8-year-old boys are so fragile. Amber's voice drops to a whisper. You just made a mistake. Did I? You're retired, Amber. Whatever you used to be, now you're just a waitress with a kid to protect. And I think you'll do whatever it takes to keep him safe, even if that means letting my husband go. The line goes dead. Amber stands on her doorstep, staring at photos of her son, photos taken by people who want to hurt him. The rage building inside her is cold, controlled, the kind of rage that doesn't explode, it calculates. She calls Marcus. We need to meet now. An hour later, the team gathers at the diner, closed sign on the door, coffee brewing. The photos spread across a table. They've been following Liam. Amber's voice is steady, too steady. For 3 months, while we were watching Morrison's crew, his wife was watching my son. Holly's face goes pale. Oh God, Amber, if we'd known. How could we know? Jax interrupts. We were focused on the operation, on Morrison's criminal network. We didn't think about his family, Kai finishes. We assumed Sarah Morrison was just the trophy wife, kept her hands clean, separate from the business. Marcus studies the photos. These aren't amateur work, professional surveillance, high-end equipment. She's got resources, probably her own security team. She's threatening Liam to keep me quiet, Amber says. Wants me to refuse to testify, let Morrison walk. You can't do that, Holly says immediately. Morrison's responsible for. I know what he's responsible for. Amber's voice cracks slightly, just slightly. But he's also right about one thing. Liam is everything. If I have to let Morrison go to keep my son safe, I will. I don't even have to think about it. The team exchanges looks. They understand. Every single one of them would make the same choice. There's another option, Marcus says slowly. We take Sarah Morrison off the board. She's a lawyer, Kai points out. Not a criminal, we can't just. Can't we? Jax's voice is hard. She threatened a child, used surveillance to terrorize a mother, obstructed justice. That sounds criminal to me. Amber shakes her head. We do this by the book. We're not vigilantes. We're retired, Marcus finishes. Civilians now, which means we follow civilian laws. But Amber, the law only works when both sides play fair. Sarah Morrison isn't playing fair. Holly speaks up. What if we gather evidence, prove she's complicit in Morrison's operations, if she's using company resources for surveillance, making threats? That could take weeks, Jax interrupts. Liam doesn't have weeks. School starts tomorrow. He walks the same route every day, sits in the same classroom, plays in the same park. He's a target and he doesn't even know it. Amber closes her eyes. When she opens them, something's changed, hardened. Then we don't wait for evidence. We send a message. What kind of message? Marcus asks carefully. The kind that makes Sarah Morrison understand she's not the only one who can make threats. She wants to play games with my son's safety. Amber's voice is ice. Fine, let's play. Over the next 24 hours, Ghost Unit 7 does what it does best. They gather intelligence. They plan. They move in the shadows. Sarah Morrison lives in a mansion in Dallas. Gated community, private security, the kind of place that's supposed to be untouchable. But Amber and her team have touched harder targets. They don't break in, don't steal anything, don't hurt anyone. They don't have to. Instead, they leave evidence of their presence. A photo on Sarah's nightstand, her jogging route timestamped from that morning. A note in her car, accidents happen. Lawyers are so fragile. Her personal laptop shows a new folder, 3 months of surveillance photos, not of Liam, of Sarah, at restaurants, shopping, at her sister's house. The message is clear. You're not invisible, you're not safe, you're not untouchable. Sarah Morrison calls Amber the next morning. Her voice isn't smooth anymore. It shakes. You broke into my house. Did I prove it? I've been at work all week. Dozen witnesses, security footage from the diner, receipts, timeline. Amber pauses. Sound familiar? That's the problem with threats, Sarah. They only work when the other person is scared. And I'm not scared of you, but maybe you should be scared of me. I'll go to the police. You'll do nothing. Because if you do, I'll make sure every photo, every email, every dirty secret you've helped your husband hide comes out. You're his lawyer, which means you've got attorney-client privilege until you use it to commit crimes. And terrorizing a child, making threats, that's a crime, Sarah, a felony. Silence on the other end. Here's what's going to happen, Amber continues. Her voice is calm, professional. You're going to destroy every photo of my son, delete every surveillance file, fire whoever you hired to follow him, and you're going to forget he exists, forever. And if I don't, then I stop being a waitress and go back to being what I was trained to be. And trust me, you don't want that, because I'm very, very good at making problems disappear. Another pause, then, fine, the photos are gone, the surveillance ends, your son is off limits. Smart choice. But Morrison still walks. You can't testify if you want your son to stay safe. Amber smiles. Sarah can't see it, but she probably hears it in her voice. That's where you're wrong. You see, while we were having this conversation, my team delivered a package to the FBI. Morrison's financial records, shell companies, money transfers, communications with the crew that attacked my diner, everything. You can't have, those are encrypted. We're encrypted, but you married a criminal, Sarah, which means your home computers, your personal files, they're all part of the investigation now. And it turns out you kept copies of everything. Insurance, probably, in case Morrison ever turned on you. Amber hears something break on the other end. Maybe a glass, maybe Sarah's composure. You ruined us, both of us. No, you did that when you threatened my son. I just made sure there were consequences. Amber's voice softened slightly. Take the deal they offer you, Sarah. Testify against your husband. Protect yourself. Because loyalty to a man like Morrison, that's a death sentence and we both know it. The call ends. That evening, Amber picks Liam up from school. Normal routine, normal day. Except she spots the surveillance van that's been following them for 3 months, spots it pulling away, driving off, disappearing. Liam chatters about his day, about the science project, about the kid who brought his pet lizard for show and tell. Normal, safe, protected. Marcus calls that night. Federal agents arrested Sarah Morrison an hour ago. She's already negotiating a plea deal. Morrison himself is being transferred to federal custody tomorrow. Good, Amber says. Thompson wants to meet with you again. Says there's a situation developing. International. Needs someone with your skill set. Tell him I'm retired. I did, he said, to give you this message. Morrison was small time. What's coming next isn't. Amber looks at Liam, asleep on the couch, safe in their small home above the diner. She spent 6 years trying to give him a normal life. But maybe normal isn't enough when the world keeps proving it needs people like her. Set up the meeting, she says finally, but I'm not promising anything. Understood. That night, Amber dreams of missions that haven't happened yet, of threats not yet revealed, of a life she thought she'd left behind that keeps pulling her back. Because some people aren't meant for quiet lives. Some people are meant to stand between the darkness and the light. Even if it means the light never knows their name. Thompson meets her at a truck stop outside Amarillo. Neutral ground, public enough to be safe, private enough to talk. He's wearing jeans and a jacket, trying to look civilian. Failing. There's something about the way federal agents move, precise, aware, always scanning, that civilian clothes can't hide. Thanks for coming, he says, sliding into the booth across from her. I haven't agreed to anything. I know, just hear me out. He pulls out a tablet, shows her a photo. Middle-aged man, graying hair, expensive suit. Robert Chen, billionaire, tech industry, philanthropist. Just donated $50 million to children's hospitals. Okay. Also runs the largest human trafficking network in North America. Maybe the world. Morrison's operation. That was one of Chen's distribution channels. Morrison didn't even know who he was really working for. Amber's blood goes cold. Human trafficking. Women, children, moved across international borders, sold to the highest bidder. Thompson's voice is tight. Controlled rage barely contained. We've been after Chen for 3 years. Can't touch him. Too many connections, too much money. Every time we get close, evidence disappears. Witnesses recant. Agents get reassigned. You think he's got people inside the bureau? I know he does. Which is why we need someone outside the system. Someone with your particular skills. Amber shakes her head. I've got a son, I can't. He knows about you. Thompson cuts her off, slides another photo across the table. Liam, at school. This one was taken yesterday. Amber's hands clench into fists. You said Morrison was handled, you said. Chen doesn't care about Morrison, but he does care about the people who took down Morrison's network. He sees you as a threat, and Chen doesn't leave threats alive. He eliminates them. Is that a threat? Are you threatening my son to get me to work for you? No, Thompson's voice is firm. I'm telling you the truth. Chen already has eyes on you. Whether you help us or not, he's coming. The only question is whether you're prepared when he does. Amber wants to argue, wants to tell Thompson to go to hell, wants to grab Liam and run. But she's been running her whole adult life. Running from her past, running from who she used to be, running from the darkness she spent 6 years trying to escape. And the darkness found her anyway. What do you want from me? Your team off the books, untraceable, you go places we can't go, do things we can't do. Chen's organization is built on fear and invisibility, but you and your people, your ghosts, you can move through his network without triggering alarms, find evidence we can actually use, rescue people the system has forgotten. And if we get caught, you won't exist, we can't protect you, can't acknowledge you, you'd be on your own. Like always, Thompson doesn't disagree. Amber thinks about Liam, about the life she's tried to build, about coffee and pancakes and homework and bedtime stories, about the women and children in Chen's photographs, scared, trapped, waiting for someone to save them. I need to talk to my team, she says finally. Fair enough. And I want full immunity for anything that happens during this operation, for all of us, in writing. Done. And if this goes wrong, if Chen comes after my son, you protect him, whatever it takes. You put him in witness protection, you make him disappear, you keep him safe. Thompson meets her eyes. You have my word. It's not enough. Words never are, but it's all she's got. I'll have an answer in 24 hours. The team meeting happens in the diner. After hours, doors locked, blinds drawn. Amber lays out everything. Chen, the trafficking network, the danger, the risk. We could walk away, she says, pack up, move, change our names, disappear again. For how long, Marcus asks, until Chen finds us, until the next Morrison or the next Chen decides we're a threat. Or, Holly says quietly, we could stop running, stop hiding, do what we were trained to do. Save people, Kai adds. Jax nods. That's why we joined up in the first place, wasn't it? To protect the innocent, stop the predators. Amber looks at each of them, her team, her family. This isn't like before, we're civilians now. We've got lives, responsibilities. Holly, you're taking classes. Kai, you've got your daughter visiting next month. Marcus, you're finally sleeping through the night without nightmares. And you've got Liam, Marcus says gently. Yeah, I've got Liam. Which is exactly why we should do this, Holly says. Because Chen's got hundreds of Liams, kids just like him, scared, alone, praying someone will save them. And their mothers, Jax asks. Women like you, Amber, trying to protect their children, failing because monsters like Chen have all the power and they have none. Amber's throat tightens. We're not soldiers anymore, she says. We don't have to fight. No, Marcus agrees. We don't have to, but we can, and maybe that's enough reason to do it. The vote is unanimous. Ghost Unit 7 comes out of retirement. Not for glory, not for country, not even for justice. For the people who can't save themselves. For the children waiting in the dark. For the chance to turn silence into thunder and invisibility into action. Thompson sets them up with equipment, encrypted communications, forged credentials, access to intelligence databases. Chen's hosting a charity gala in 2 weeks, he briefs them. Private island off the coast of Mexico, invitation only, security tighter than most presidential events, but our intel suggests he's meeting with his key distributors there, if we can get someone inside. I'll go, Holly volunteers immediately. Too risky, Amber says. I'm the only one who can pass for socialite. I've got the training, And before you argue, yes, I know it's dangerous. Yes, I know Chen's people will be watching, but that's exactly why it has to be me. She's right, they all know it. 2 weeks later, Holly walks into Chen's gala wearing a designer dress and a fake smile. She mingles, charms, flirts, gathers names and faces and information. And when Chen's security chief corners her in a hallway, when he demands to know who she really is, when his hand goes for his gun, she shows him exactly what Army Rangers are trained to do. The extraction is messy, loud, everything they wanted to avoid. But they get out, barely, with evidence that puts Chen's entire network on a USB drive. Except Chen's people follow them back to Texas. Back to the diner. Back to Liam. The phone rings at 3. Liam is asleep in his room. Amber answers before the first ring finishes. "They're coming," Thompson's voice, urgent. "Chen's security team, 6 vehicles, heavily armed, ETA 20 minutes, get Liam out, now." Amber's already moving, grabbing her go-bag, waking Liam. "Baby, we have to leave, right now, don't ask questions, just trust me." Liam's eyes go wide, scared but trusting. "Okay, Mom." She calls Marcus. "Code Black, they're coming for us." "On our way, 10 minutes." 10 minutes. The security team will be here in 20. That gives them a 10-minute head start. Not enough. Never enough. Amber bundles Liam into her truck, drives fast, highway empty at this hour. She can see headlights in the rearview mirror, distant but gaining. "Mom," Liam's voice is small, "what's happening? Remember when I told you I used to be in the Navy, that I did special things?" "Yeah. Well, some bad people don't like that I'm trying to stop them from hurting kids, so they're trying to scare us, but they won't succeed, okay? I promise." She's lying, she's terrified, but Liam doesn't need to know that. Marcus calls. "Turn left at County Road 12. We've got a safe house set up, armored, defensible." "How defensible?" Pause. "Against 6 guys, we'll hold them. Against what Chen's probably sending, we'll buy you time to run." Amber makes the turn. Gravel road, dark, isolated. Perfect for an ambush. The safe house is actually an old barn, reinforced, windows barred, but Marcus wasn't kidding, this is designed to delay, not defend. Her team is already there, armed, ready. "Get Liam to the basement," Marcus orders. "There's a tunnel, leads half a mile east to an old well. Kai's bike is there, keys in the ignition, you run, don't look back." "I'm not leaving you." "You have to, he needs you. Those kids Chen's got, they need you to finish this." Holly grips Amber's arm. "We've got this, go." Amber looks at her family, her team, people who have saved her life a dozen times over. People she's about to abandon. "I'll come back," she says. "I swear I'll come back for you." "We know," Jack says. "Now go." She takes Liam's hand, leads him to the basement, shows him the tunnel. "Listen to me very carefully. You're going to crawl through here. At the end is a motorcycle. You remember how to start it. You taught me last summer." "That's right, you start it. You drive to Sheriff Mason's house. You tell him Code Black. He'll know what to do. Can you remember that?" "Code Black," Liam's crying now. "Mom, please don't make me leave you." "Baby, I love you more than anything in this world. But right now, I need you to be brave. Can you do that for me?" He nods, trembling. "That's my boy." Gunfire erupts above them. Automatic weapons. The sound of the barn's defenses being tested. Amber pushes Liam into the tunnel. "Go, now." "I love you, Mom." "I love you too, so much, now run." She watches him crawl into darkness, watches until she can't see him anymore. Then she picks up her rifle and climbs back upstairs. Her team is holding the line. Barely. Chen's people are professional, coordinated. This isn't a threat, it's an execution squad. "How many?" Amber asks, taking position by a window. 12, Marcus reports. They brought friends. Odds aren't great. Odds haven't been great since we signed up for this life. They fight, they hold, minutes stretch like hours. Amber counts shots, counts down the ammunition, counts the seconds until Liam is far enough away to be safe. 300 seconds, 5 minutes, that's all they need. At 4 minutes, the barn's south wall explodes inward. Breaching charge, Chen's people flood in. At 4.5 minutes, Marcus takes a round to the shoulder, goes down hard. At 4 minutes 45 seconds, Holly's rifle jams. At 5 minutes exactly, Amber hears a motorcycle engine roar to life in the distance. Liam made it. Fall back, Amber orders, back tunnel now. They retreat, firing as they go. The barn is lost, but the mission succeeded. Liam is safe. They emerge from the back tunnel into pre-dawn darkness. Chen's people are right behind them. And then, sirens. Federal vehicles screaming up the gravel road, agents pouring out, Thompson leading the charge. Stand down, he roars at Chen's security team. Federal agents, drop your weapons. Chen's people hesitate, trapped between Ghost Unit 7 and the FBI. The lead man lowers his rifle, the others follow. Thompson approaches Amber. You okay? Liam. Sheriff Mason picked him up. He's safe. Little shaken but safe. Amber's legs give out, just stops working. Marcus catches her, holds her up. It's over, Thompson says. The evidence you got from the gala, it's enough. We've arrested Chen, 52 members of his organization, recovered 37 victims already, more coming. 37, Amber whispers. That's not enough, I know, but it's a start. Over the next week, the news fills with stories. Billionaire arrested, trafficking ring dismantled, victims rescued. Ghost Unit 7 is never mentioned. That's how they want it. Thompson visits the diner one last time. There's more work, other networks, other predators. We could use you. Amber looks around the Blue Moon diner, at the cracked vinyl seats, the ancient coffee maker, at Liam doing homework in a corner booth. I'm retired, she says. You said that before. This time I mean it. But they both know she's lying. Because 3 weeks later, a young woman runs into the diner, panic in her eyes, baby in her arms. Please, they're coming, they'll kill us. Amber's threat assessment is instant. Military bearing despite the panic. Intelligence operative, probably. Baby maybe 6 months old. The they she mentioned are probably the 3 vehicles screeching into the parking lot. Kitchen, now. Amber guides the woman behind the counter. Marcus and the others are already moving. That's supernatural synchronization that comes from years of working together. Sheriff Mason walks in for his morning coffee, sees the setup, sighs. Really, Amber? Sorry, Mason. Wrong place, wrong time again. The men who enter aren't American. Russian, if Amber's ear for accents is accurate. Professional killers. We want the woman and the child, the lead man says. Everyone else can leave safely. This is America, Mason says calmly. You don't get to make demands here. You have no idea what you're interfering with. Neither do you, Marcus says quietly. What follows isn't a fight, it's a demonstration. 5 former special operators working in perfect harmony. 45 seconds. 6 unconscious Russians. 0 shots fired. Thompson's already on his phone when he arrives. How do you keep finding trouble? We don't find it, Amber says. It finds us. The woman with the baby emerges. Lieutenant Sarah Chen, Naval Intelligence. My husband uncovered Morrison's network connection to Chen's trafficking ring. He was killed. They've been hunting me. Morrison's dealt with, Thompson says. Chen's in custody. There are others, always others. Chen looks at Amber, at her team. You're the ones who took down Morrison and Chen. Ghost Unit 7, you're a legend in certain circles. We're retired, Amber says automatically. Are you? Or are you just waiting for the next mission that matters? Before Amber can answer, Liam's school bus pulls up. He gets off, walks into federal agents and zip-tied Russians, sighs. Did someone try to rob the diner again? Something like that. Should I go do homework? That would be great, baby. As Liam walks past one of the unconscious Russians, he pauses. Mom, this guy has the same tattoo as the man watching our apartment last week. Amber's blood runs cold. What man? Blue car, same tattoo. I didn't say anything because I thought he was one of your old friends. A month, they'd been under surveillance for a month. Marcus puts a hand on her shoulder. We can't keep pretending this is over. He's right. They look at Lieutenant Chen and her baby, at the Russians who'd tracked her across the country, at the darkness that keeps finding them no matter how far they run. One mission, Amber says. We evaluate after that. But they all know better. There's no such thing as one mission. Not for people like them. The sun sets over the Blue Moon Diner, casting long shadows across Texas plains. Ghost Unit 7 sits in their usual booth, coffee growing cold, planning their next move. They're not soldiers anymore, not officially, but maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe what matters is that when darkness comes, and it always comes, there are people willing to stand against it. People like Amber Hayes, waitress, mother, former Navy SEAL. People who look ordinary, who serve coffee and pie, who smile and take orders and seem forgettable. Until the moment they're needed. Until the moment someone threatens the innocent. Until the moment ordinary isn't enough anymore. Liam calls from the office. Mom, there's something on the news about the diner. They gather around the small TV. Reporter standing outside. Federal authorities today dismantled what they're calling an international kidnapping ring. The heroes' identities are being withheld for security reasons. We need a new location, Holly says. No, Amber's voice is firm. We're done running. This is our home. If trouble wants to find us, let it come. She looks at her team, her family. They'd all lost their old lives, been forced to become ghosts, fought their way back to something resembling peace. Now that peace is threatened again. But this time is different. This time they have something worth fighting for. Not duty, not country, but home. The only easy day was yesterday, Marcus quotes their old motto. And tomorrow's looking pretty interesting, Kai adds. The phone rings. Amber checks the caller ID, Senator Coleman. She answers, Ghost Unit 7. Welcome back, Coleman says. Your country needs you. We never left, Amber replies. We just took a coffee break. Outside, Texas stars shine bright, watching over a small diner where extraordinary people do ordinary things. Waiting for the next moment when ordinary won't be enough. Liam comes out from the office, homework done, backpack packed for tomorrow. Mom, are we going to be okay? Amber kneels down, looks her son in the eyes. Yeah, baby, we're going to be okay. Even with all the bad people. Especially because of them. Because as long as there are bad people in the world, there will always be good people willing to stop them. That's the deal. That's the promise. And you're one of the good people. I try to be. Liam hugs her tight. You're the best people, Mom. She holds him, this boy who makes everything matter, who gives purpose to the fight, who reminds her why standing in the darkness is worth it. So others can live in the light. The team stays late, planning, preparing. Ghost Unit 7 is officially back. Not for medals, not for recognition, not even for thanks. For the children who need saving, the innocents who need protecting, the darkness that needs pushing back. One mission at a time. One coffee cup at a time. One quiet act of courage at a time. Because that's what heroes do. They show up. They stand firm. They fight when fighting is needed. Even if the world never knows their names. even if history forgets they existed. Even if they're disguised as waitresses and short-order cooks in a forgotten diner along Highway 287. The war isn't over, it never is. But neither are they. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes dignity doesn't speak, it simply acts. Sometimes the quietest people make the loudest difference. Sometimes the person serving your coffee is the only thing standing between you and the monsters. And sometimes, just sometimes, that's exactly who you need them to be. The lights go off at the Blue Moon Diner. Another day ends, another begins. Ghost Unit 7 sleeps lightly, ready, waiting. Because tomorrow, someone somewhere will need saving. And when that call comes, they'll answer. Not as soldiers, not as heroes, but as people who refuse to let the darkness win. One cup of coffee at a time. One quiet victory at a time. One life saved at a time. That's the mission now. That's always been the mission. And they wouldn't have it any other way.